Hello, welcome to MCBOSS Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. Today is November 7, 2025, 9:13 a.m. Mountain Time, past 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So basically, the market has been pulling back pretty strongly late recently. So this whole week has been pretty bad, right? So you can see here, uh, look at those 2 days here, and then we got rejected at the 10-day finally and make new lows and then today we just gap down to the red line, which is the 50-day. And so far this morning, generally we want to see support at the 50-day. So far this morning we haven't seen a bounce yet. Let's go back to the daily chart. So you can see this whole rally since April, we have never fell below the red line, and that is very important, especially now because we recently just got tested right there near that level. Um, so it's not that far below it. Yeah, not that far. So if we break through that, that'll be the first test, and then this low, right, recent like few weeks ago, that'll be the second test, and we so that's two tests here. If we fail those two, we are headed for much lower. So that's the scary part right now. But again, it hasn't happened, but we'll see, right? Today, index down 1.8% on QQQ, which is pretty severe, right? So let's go to SPY. Sorry, one second. Okay. So looking at SPY, we're similar, no bounce. Like this morning, we tested the lows, but we fell, right? So that's the bad sign. We didn't see any bounce. So here is more clear. We actually, we tried to bounce, but off the red line, but we couldn't. So this is actually more obvious sign that things are might be getting a lot worse here. So something to be mindful of. Of course, we already have um, Thursday sell off and then 2 days sell off. That's 2 days in a row. Generally, we usually see a bounce when you see such short term, quick, pretty fast, and also the price pullback is significant. So usually we see a bounce, but again, so far this morning we haven't seen that bounce, and that's the problem, right? Okay, so that's the S&P SPY. Let's look at Dow. This one, same thing. Look at this. We found support and then we broke it like pretty fast, right? So that's again another sign that uh because a lot of people will set their low this morning, and when it breaks, it just there's gonna be more sell off. People are just gonna like more and more people are giving up, right? And that's what happened in a market pullback or correction is people start to give up, and the further it goes, the more people give up, because no one wants to sell. Like everyone has fear, right? So this one looks slightly better. It's above the red line still. IWM, wow, look at this. This is now way below the red line. And this is, definitely the weakest index right now based on just recent performance on my machine here. Yeah, so I think in general, like, this last few since Wednesday was a nice bounce, right? That day I was still trying to trade in to some stocks, but they all fell yesterday. So like most of them pretty much just stop out. Like so, because they just couldn't go, and this Russell looks even worse. Um, Yeah, because look at this, it just, yeah, make new low again, and like I said, it's below, it's way below the red line now, so that's really bad. Stocks on the move. Again, besides earnings related stocks, there's really not much movement. And today, um, EXP, is one of them that kind of doing well on earnings, and you see the gap up and the follow through this morning so far. No hesitation. Looks really good right now. But again, this is kind of extended already. It's hard to chase a stock if you don't have it already. Another stock that's doing well in retail section is Wayfair. This one has a nice bounce this morning. This is a nice pullback and a nice bounce. And recently broke out from earnings. So this looks really good. This chart looks really, really good. And it has a really strong prior uptrend. And then we built this base, right? So this looks like a very nice leader from a chart perspective. Especially at times like that when market is so weak, this one is definitely outperforming. Look at the RSI on the weekly chart. I think even daily chart it shows pretty strong relative strength. So here you go. Yeah, we already at new high on our RS here. Even though the stock hasn't hit new high, that's exactly the kind of things you want to see on a nice move. So yeah, most of this don't have good earnings. Um, And we talk about Wayfair. Yeah, most of there's a few gold stocks moving today, but again, the gold has, even though people are saying, oh, gold might be, in this type of market, maybe gold is can be something that doesn't follow the market trend. It's possible, especially some people think it's even counter, right? But the gold price hasn't moved at all. That is the problem. It hasn't moved in almost 2 weeks. So if you look at GDX, which is the gold stock, that one also doesn't look good, right? You can see here, it just has no power coming back. It might need more time, and yeah, it could break out soon, and like you never know, because it did find a bottom here. So if we go to GFI, then some of this are maybe just reported. That's why they're moving a little bit more. But I'm not sure if GFI report yesterday or today, but it's very recent. But it didn't move much, and yeah. Anyhow, on my list, I try really hard to find even stocks that can move right now, and I'm not seeing that. So like I'm gonna look at some tip stocks and see where they're at. Let's see, AMT. Look at this. It's just falling apart now below 21 day. This is where things start to get really, really tricky because this is last time when it fall below 21 day was right there and it didn't bottom until it hit the way below the 50 day, right? So, but right now the 50 day is not even close. So if it does come to 50 days, it's a pretty big correction, and that could happen, right? So that's something to be mindful of. Is where is your stock right now? Is it near the 21 day? Is it falling below the 21 day? How far is the 50 day? Because that's kind of the minimum, area it could fall. Like you could have to think of. It could fall that far, or even further if it break the 50 day. So those are things to watch out for. Usually, especially stocks that are big cap, they're held by institutions. They usually come support at the 50 day. Not exactly at the 50 day. They start buying near the 50 day, and then something like this one, a little bit below it. You start to bounce after that, and you can see it didn't hit new low here on the base anymore. And that's how you know the base is starting to perhaps come back on the right side. And times is also important, right? How much time it takes to form that base, right? So this is exactly what you want to see in the base, like kind of start to bounce from the bottom. Um, it passed the 50 day and then it start to bounce after that, and then as it goes towards the right side, it couldn't go lower, right? No matter how hard it try. And the other thing is, you notice how tight it is. The closing price are pretty tight from a day-to-day basis. over here in this case over several weeks. And then when it start to go, it start to go, and I think there was some news here, but it even went above 50-day the day before the big move. So those are things to watch for in this market. Um, but let's keep going. A couple more. Nvidia. Look at this one. This one fell below 50-day. Looks pretty bad right now because this is again institution support line. Last few times it broke it, it come back within 3-4 days here. So we'll have to watch for that. This one bounced back right away after 1 day. So just things like that because once you break 50-day, where's the next line? It can go to 200 days. So the risk is much bigger now. Um, so of course, a lot of people want to, especially stocks like Nvidia, like growth leaders. People like gonna buy right at 50-day. Again, that's where most institutions will come in and support near that level. And so yeah, it's very tempting to even buy at this level right now. But if it doesn't work out, it falls really far. It has a lot of room to fall after that. So that's why I don't usually buy on weakness. I only buy on strength. So I wouldn't be buying here. But if it does bounce back and stay above 50-day, stuff like that, like especially in this market environment where everything just go up one step, pull back 2 steps, go up 1 step, pull back 2 steps, kind of move. It just doesn't work out. And on a daily basis. You just see your equities curve just keep going down right every day, even if you find the best stocks. All right, so that's Nvidia. Let's look at other ones. Palantir. Look at this, Nvidia and Palantir, both of them giving up the red line. This is actually starting to look a little bit dangerous, right? Again, why are two really big known leaders are falling below the 50-day? Again, it does happen. You can see here even the April base, it does happen. But we shouldn't stay below it too long, and it shouldn't go too far after beyond that. So the last time we had it was in earlier this year as well. Um, and this one was a little bit more deeper correction. Okay, let's look at one more. Tesla. Tesla also giving up here. It was holding up really tight at the top half of the range. Now it's heading towards the low range, and 50 days near that range as well. So yeah, although like I said, this chart still looks good, right? Like if you look at weekly chart, it still looks pretty tight, pretty flat. Um, yeah, maybe this week's bar is not very strong at all. But again, that's why there's no such thing as the perfect base. um, you kind of have to take it on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis and see where the strength is, whether it can find support at certain levels, and that's maybe your lowest risk entry point. And if it fell, you have to manage risk. So thank you all for watching. We'll come up with new videos this weekend. Hopefully, there's really not much to look for, but the thing we want to do is probably just sharpen our skills around what are the signals that can help us get back into this market. What if you are out right now, like, or you just selling off right now, like what is the things that you want to see to get back into this market? And if you are still in the market, like again, this thing could break wide open. If anyone can predict a market correction, then nobody ever would lose money, right? So I have no idea if this is going to turn into a 20% market correction, or 10 to 15%. I have no idea. So thank you all for watching. Have a good day.